Don't go in the water. Made a video, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago called that, about my most traumatic experience with a fucking shark. Nash, George. Yeah, 3 shark attacks in 3 days in Sydney. Nielsen's park was near some dirty nudist beach. That prick was jumping off a rock, outside the enclosure, and at 4:30 in the afternoon. There's one thing you learn if you're coming to Australia. Australia's got thousands and thousands of miles of beaches, and they're all dangerous. The most dangerous thing in an Australian beach south of the Tropic of Capricorn is the rip. If you get caught in a rip, a strong current that's heading out to sea, you're a dead duck. You're gone. My life was saved by a lifesaver in, I think it was 65. Me and my friend Ian Morris, who was a very strong swimmer, and I was never a strong swimmer. We both got caught in a rip off North Cronulla, and that was our local beach. And we knew the conditions, and we used to go down there in winter at 6 o'clock in the morning and catch the dumpers. I got one dumper. It was a 10-foot job, and it dropped me straight on the sand. It nearly it knocked me out for a few seconds. But yeah, you're pretty safe in the winter. The water was warm, always the same temperature. So if you go down there in the winter, when it's, say, in the old school Fahrenheit 40 degrees in winter, the actual water is always whatever the temperature is. I forget what it is in Fahrenheit. I think it's 63 or something like that. So going down there, you're shivering because it's freezing, and the waves are dangerous, and there's no one around, but the minute you get in the water, it's like jumping in a warm bath, and you don't want to get out. And I did that for 6 weeks, and that's why I got expelled from Guyamere Tech High School. Anyway, enough of that. Now, 3 shark attacks in Sydney this week. This kid got his legs almost bitten off at Nielsen Park, which is like a faggot beach. There's no surf, there's nothing. Why would you even bother? Bull sharks, fucking bull sharks. They are a nightmare. Back in the 60s, when I was a teenager, I'd go down to the wharf and hang out with the guys doing the fishing, and you would see the bull sharks cruising along the edges, looking for anything they could get. Big ones, 8-foot jobs and bigger. Fuck off! It's my bloody cat. Oh, I'll introduce you to my cat. Come on, here we go. Hurry up. Filthy little cunt. Yes. Life from the fast lane. And, yeah, bull sharks. Anyway, 3 shark attacks in 3 days in the Sydney area. Nielsen's beach. There was I don't know, I don't care. And some poor girl from Sweden got killed by one up the coast a few weeks ago. And some poor Asian bastard all they found was his fucking head on the beach. The next day it floated ashore. That's a white pointer job. Great white shark. You get to know your sharks Australia is the best country in the world in a lot of ways. It has huge blue skies most of the year round, and it has the biggest, best beaches in the world, and it has the most creepy, crawly creatures living in it. So it's exciting. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But they're idiots. You learn these things. You do not go into the water. Like, we could go into the water early in the morning in winter when there's dumping waves. No fucking shark's going to be in those waves. They don't like that. It's uncomfortable for them. So you're okay. But if you go down there in summer at the same time, they're feeding. It's their feeding time, early in the morning and late in the afternoon, in the evening. It's just basic, know the animals' habits, and you should be pretty okay. Um, these idiots just never, ever, ever listen or ever learn. Fuck them. They can go. They had a life. They might have had loving children, and they were a member of their church, but they just had to go for that early morning swim, didn't they? And they ended up getting a human being thing that got all chewed up and ended up coming out of fucking shark's fucking asshole, you know. But what am I talking about? I think I'll have another Cooper's sparkling ale. It's too early for dinner. It's 9:28. Yeah, so it's great. I'm all excited, and yeah. So my story was, um, and it taught me a huge lesson. I was in the Boy Scouts, so I used to go body surfing at my local beach, Cronulla. So I was an outdoor type kid, We all were in those days. There's nothing else to do except go bushwalking, swimming, all that sort of thing. And I remember, I think it was before my experience. I was up at Winifred Falls, which is a little waterfall right up the end of the Southwest Arm. I grew up on the edges of Northwest Arm on the Hacking River in Port Hacking, south of Sydney, and we were up there, and the scouts off duty, we went up there and swim around in the pool up near the waterfall, which is fresh water. But then as you head towards back down the Hacking River, it becomes more and more brackish. We were up there all day jumping, like this kid jumping off this rock repeatedly at 4:30 in the afternoon. If there's a shark nearby, especially a bull shark, a 10-foot bull shark will take out a 14-foot tiger. We'll get to the tiger shark very soon because time is going by. So, yeah. And on the way out, we're walking out, and this is clear water, as clear as day, basically fresh but brackish, heading towards salty. We're walking along the bank. This fucking at least 12-foot long fucking tiger shark is coming up towards Winifred Falls. We just go, what the fuck? I found out years later that tiger sharks go upstream, up rivers, in some cases, in some parts of the world. They do on the east coast of Australia anyway. They go up there to get rid of parasites. They go up into the fresh water and the parasites fall off. Also, a pregnant tiger shark goes up into the fresh water. It helps induce birth. So that was something I learned very early. And I've had other experiences where I've seen sharks, bull sharks, just going under my feet, sitting on a wharf, and there goes a bloody bull shark. Anyway, my experience was, better go on with this because I'm dying for a Cooper Sparkling Ale. From South Australia, great beer, 1862, been going a long time. We went down there for a year when I was a kid in 1959, 60. And we lived right on the beach at Grange, a beach suburb of Adelaide, and we lived right on the beach. And I used to go out there, out to the out into the water when I was a 9-year-old kid. When you get up to your knees or your waist, and the shark alarm, the bell would go, and you'd try running 200 yards through water up to your waist. Because in those days, they just throw, they used to hunt the sharks, chop their heads off, throw them, and they used to bring more sharks in the area. That was South Australia. Anyway, so it's back to my story, and let's finish it. My friend and I, Ian Morris, we hired a wooden canoe, very sturdy old thing, and headed across to Deer Park from Gymea Bay, where I grew up. Now, it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't at 4:30. It wasn't in the morning. This is unbelievable. It was bloody well a sunny day. I can see it as clear as a day still, 60 plus years later, or 60 years later. We're rowing away there, or not rowing, paddling, and we're going. We're halfway, over halfway across. There's quite a large section to get across, very deep water, and suddenly this old wooden canoe goes bang. We go, what the fuck? We go, what, huh? And then I just looked down. I'm in the back, he's in the front. I looked down and I just went, holy fucking shit. This thing's head just came right up out of the water, put the bottom of its jaw on the side of the canoe so it tipped. And I'll never forget it. I can see it had this huge black soulless eye just looking. I went, fuck! I didn't swear in those days. But I can swear now because I'm an old person. I can do whatever I fucking want. I can shit in my pants. So I just went, holy shit, and it slid back down. I said, hey, go, go, go. And there's a guy over the other side of Deer Park. He was going, I saw that, I saw that, I saw it. And we're going like if you can believe that Jesus walked on water and I don't, we fucking did, mate. You know, we went, we took off, we grew wings. We got the fuck out of there. It was big, big, big shark. And he said, I saw that, I saw it. And he said, that thing took my bulldog a couple of days ago. And you know, the worst part was, we had to paddle back to the boat shed, but it had already gone. But that was an experience. I didn't know what sort of shark it was at the time. It was very, very big. Had a very big, flat sort of face, but it had a black eye. And I used to think it was probably a bull shark. But in retrospect, bull sharks don't have that really black eye. So it was a tiger for sure. Probably a pregnant tiger shark or a male breeding season. Bye. Coopers is calling. I gotta go now. I hear you. How's it coming?